Good morning. Welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Uh, couple of updates. I think I said in the last, well, this video, I am going to try to give you a heads up as to what's going to be going on. I want to talk about the move that I'm going to be starting to work on today, moving to another system temporarily. Um, and then I want to try to go over fitting out a rifter for the first time for a very basic setup, just like I have with my slasher that I have here, and then maybe take that rifter out to go get it blown up. Um, so you'll see me die at the end most likely, just like yesterday. um, the uh, the only other one I want to bring up here was there was a really good comment yesterday, and I want to go over a ton of this because I did a bunch of comments the other day. But and I don't, I apologize, sir, I can't pronounce your name. Um, I'm not even awake enough yet to try. Uh, I'm gonna try Domajaj, Domagoj. I, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Um, but if anybody wants to correct me on that name, but he has a very good comment here saying that I think you're overthinking it. This is actually in regards to my video from yesterday where I was taking the slasher out and working on some things. Just use brawly frigates and in time you will figure out what your PvP playstyle is. And that's exactly what I'm doing. If you've watched a couple of videos, I've switched things over. I'm focused on PvP for a while because I want to learn it. I'm focused on doing the brawly style, so good there. He does say, I think Incursus is a great start for you. And then Enyo. So Enyo is the upgraded version of the Incursus, which is a Galenti ship, if I'm remembering correctly, a Galenti frigate. The Incursus is very similar to the Rifter, whereas right now I'm flying the Slasher, which is more of your tackle frigate. It's the first ship that I'm doing. Um, he says here that the Enyo could take on cruisers, so that is something to look forward to. Problem is that you don't have perfect skills. You'll encounter people with better skills, and they will do more damage and tank better, and with the same ship. In the end, it's a game of numbers. Uh, he also says, "And the Crimson Harvest, I did 4 sites today. One yielded me 20 million ISK, and the next 3 I got 380 million ISK. So make some money out there right now. Please go out there and make some money." Um, I did reply here, and I thought it would be good for me to just uh, I thought this would be really good for me to point out. Um, in my life, I've always been accused since I was a kid of overthinking things, and I have to take things back to basic levels, that's the reason why I'm flying the most basic fit of a slasher. Um, he says I should probably go with an Incursus and then an Enyo. The reason why I went with the slasher was that William Pilgrim's character was already skilled up to level 5 in both frigate and destroyer in Minmatar. So uh, that's where I went with the Minmatar side versus a Galenti side. I didn't want to spend time on working on skills. I wanted to get into playing that game there. Um, so I wrote here, my current route in gameplay is to unthink things, unthink PvE and exploration, and even mining from whenever I used to play 10 years ago, and simplify PvP to start from scratch with. Um, because I think you have to unthink um, things that you do. Uh, a great example was I thought it would be a great idea to um, uh, practice things fighting clone soldiers out in low sec. In reality, while they're very hard to beat, clone soldiers are very predictable, like all PvE ships are. Whereas doing PvP, people are very unpredictable. Did I say PvE? is very predictable. Now I know there's some they've done some stuff with the AI out there and things, which make things, and I'll move up to that. But currently, the things that I fight in PvE are very predictable, whereas PvP and going against other people are very unpredictable. So what I decided to do is go full tilt basic on my ship. Each one of them made under a million ISK, and then work up from there, fighting other players in LoSec in faction warfare. Uh, I I will, and this is where I continue. I will agree that as a game of numbers, the more work, the more I work on the basics of PvP, the more skill I am seeing in doing it compared to other things. What I mean by there is that the more PvP I see and the more PvP that I watch, like with Saber SG and some of the other guys, especially when you get to the bigger ships, um, and being able to adjust in the combat. The combat lasts a little bit longer. I'm seeing the personal skills of the players, and that's what I'm working on right now with these really cheap ships before I move into more expensive ships. Um, so that's it, and you can read the rest of it there. I'm not going to tell you there. So in reality, I am actually kind of doing what he's doing. I've just chosen to do it with the Minmatar because my character was already skilled up to a level 5 frigate, so I could do fly the level 5 exploration ships um, and get the level 5 bonuses for frigates with them. So really great comment. Just wanted to clarify there what I'm doing here. Um, so let's jump into it. So my goal today is to go fit out a very basic rifter, um, and also give you guys an idea of where I'm looking at moving to. Now, this is going to be a temporary move. I have two ideas. Number one, the one problem that I've run into is, let me pull up Dotland here. And this has been recent. I think it might be because of the harvest. It might be because of the new uprising update that's coming partially at over time. But faction warfare space has gotten a lot more. Um, it seems like there's more people out there. So I've had a tougher time actually ratting in, at least in the area that I'm at, which is down in, apologize, Metropolis here. So let's just click over here. Ooh. And I'm sure there it is. There's we want you to play Eve. I already play Eve. Um, so currently I'm living in Syracuse. And I'm blowing things up. I brought out some very basic blueprints and I'm building the ships that I'm getting blown up in. The problem I'm having is building enough ships because I can't blow up enough things because people are always in all of the surrounding systems here. So it's not safe for me to actually rat in these systems. Um, So some things that I thought about doing was trying to move my base of operations temporarily until I find a permanent home. Um, and uh, and I tried to think of the best what I would look for. Number one, I would need to be able to rat. Number two, I'd need to be able to build ships. And number three, I want to get my daily skill bonuses. I've actually had problems doing that, where you have to kill like 5 ships and get your 10,000 skill points. I've had to fly like 10 systems away to just be safe to go do that. So, um, what I decided to do, and I'm still in Sirkir, I'm going to leave some stuff there just for the fun of it, but I'm going to go back to Heimatar. I'll just show you here. This is, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to look for two systems that I can clone jump from one to the other to practice. So if one area is busy, the other area I can clone jump to, and maybe that one isn't busy. And the first one that I've come up with is Ulfheim here. Why? Because it's right near the low-sec faction warfare. It is still in low-sec, which I'm trying to just live in low-sec. But I do have to jump from a high sec through here, through Damelin. Um, But I'm very close to Faction Warfare, so I can get my fun content. You know me, my goal is to make videos of playing for 30 minutes at a time because I have a busy life. It's tough for me to sit down for hours to make videos or play. So it's all about being able to play and have fun at the time that I'm available. So let's say I was in Sirkir and I boot up, and now I've got to fly 10 systems away to go blow something up or get something. I've just wasted, 10 minutes of my 30 minutes I get to play at that time. If I can boot up in Ulfheim or some other place, which I'm going to keep looking for even better and better places, and keep building things, that'll just save me time. So this is the first one. The number two part of it here is that I'm near Rennes, which I'm going to be going to here shortly to build out that rifter. Um, The second one is I'm going to set up clear across. We'll go to the universe here, the other side. And this just comes from what I used when I used to play 10 years ago, where I used to live. It was one of the spots. And it is out here in Placid. So currently I'm in Metropolis or Hamantar, one of the two here. It's all the way over here in Placid. This was a favorite spot of mine. I've always liked Placid. Especially I've always liked sleighs. Now I made a point when I came back to play that I wanted to try new places. So I'm going to set up a shop in sleighs as well. It is a high-sec system, so I'm fairly safe there, but I can clone back and forth. Um, but Sleighs has all the things that I like. It's got the research, it's got the production, and that sort of thing. It has a generic low sec, really simple area down here that if you want to go right, you can. It also is right next to faction warfare right here, and you can get right into that right there. And then even right here, there's a jump into syndicate, which is NP's uh, nullsec. Um, so that's even fun there if I want to go do some exploration. So the only problem is I really liked this area, and I'm surprised a lot of more people don't use it because of the options. But when I came back to play, I wanted to challenge myself to do a lot of different things than I used to. 10 years ago, when I played, I did a lot of mining and a lot of PvE and not really moving around a whole lot. So I don't want this to be my final home, but it's a good spot for me to reset. Um, just looking in general, I could live up here in Charldane, Chardolane, Chardolane, Chardolane. Obviously, it's a low-sec system. It's got some stuff here. Doesn't have a clone bay, so I'd have to clone into here, but that's not a big deal. Or Osmondin, and that would give me access to faction warfare up here. It'd give me some low-sec there, and some stuff down. Syndicate's right there, huh? Didn't even think about that. Um, that's NPC nullsec there. Eh, I'll go to Slays first, but that might be a spot. So that's the update there. Let's get flying to Rennes, so we can build out a ship to get blown up in. How about that? Stop me from talking. Well, I'll keep talking. You know me. But yeah, major thing for me is to constantly be evolving and learning things with the game and trying things. It keeps me interested, and that's the thing I love about Eve. Is there's so many things that you can do and learn and try out. Um, I will say this: the Crimson Harvest is going on right now. Um, if you want to get out there and get that ISK, go for it. I will show you something, and it may make people want to throw up. Um, this is my uh, amount of ISK right now. I've got 3.5 million ISK. That's all I've got. Why? Because I don't care about ISK. I came back, um, and that's another thing that I tried to force myself not to do is not be focused on the numbers and the ifs. I just want enough that I can do to do what I want to do. And that's kind of the part of the scavenger lifestyle is I basically just fly around and use whatever I can find to play. Um, ooh, let's get this minimized so we can get our graphics going a little bit better. So we're going to go to Ren's. Let's just make sure we're not going to, it's not very far away. I should have this route in my brain, but I don't. Um, there we go. 3 jumps away. I can't remember 3 jumps. That's fantastic. So we're going to fly to Ren's, build at a Rifter, and try to get blown up. And then I'll probably go back to the Slasher. Um, but because the Rifter, in my mind, is even though they're the same type of ship, it is. Remember earlier where the fellow was saying I should fly an Incursus? Rifter is to an Incursus as, if I'm not mistaken, I'm getting better at this. A Slasher is to a Algos, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And Cursus is your um, Galente ship. I could look that up here, but I'm not going to, so I got stuff to do. That's a pretty view. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the goal. Both new places I'm going to move to over the next couple of days, but they aren't going to be my final resting spots. It's just spots that I can work on to get better at. Whether I move from them in 2 weeks or 2 years, I don't know. But I think unless you have 15 friends that you're going to hunker down in a spot, I think you should be thinking about constantly moving around, constantly challenging yourself. Um, okay. Rifter. Where are we going to buy our Rifter at? So, Ren's, that one right there. Set destination. Thank you. Okay, so one thing I did about 5 seconds of research um, on what I thought I might want to do with the Rifter. And as you can see here, I was just looking at it, but here's my Slasher. Just as a reminder, this is just a basic fit. Actually, this is not, this is my PvE Slasher. This is the one that I get my kill stuff with. I kill battle cruisers and stuff like that with. This is not the one that I normally get blown up in PvP, but it is similar. And you know how I've gone shield tanked because I've got the 4 mid slots and the 2 low slots and 4 slots up here for 3 of them to blow stuff up with. Um, the Rifter is different. Um, and we're going to jump in here. So let's say if I was wanting to do a PvE Rifter, if you look here, where the Slasher has 4 mid slots, it only has 3. And where the Slasher has 2 low slots, the Rifter has 4. Now, in general, if you're going to do shield tank, you need to do it from mid slot. And if you're going to do armor tank, you're going to do it from low slot. There's an obvious difference here. If you think about it, with a ship that you're doing PvP with, 99% of the time you're going to need some form of um, pro propulsion and some form of tackle. So that's going to always take up 2 slots. So if you've only got 3 slots here, now this is a basic Air Soldier of Fortune fit. Um, they they threw in a web of fire here. The only way I could shield tank this is maybe put in a shield extender or a shield recharger, something like that. But I don't think that would be very helpful. It would be very rare that I think you would see a shield tank Rifter. It's possible, but just in general, I don't think it's a good fit. Um, so what they've done here is they've fitted out the gyro stabilizer, and they've got all of your propulsion and tackle in the mid slots. You've got your guns, and then they've got some gyro stabilizers to increase your damage, and then they've got defensive stuff here, and then a auxiliary power core to give more power to allow you to fit more things onto here. Now this probably isn't needed. This is probably for a whatchamacallit, a alpha character that doesn't have the skills. This is what you would consider a passive armor tank. It does not have any active armor repellent on it. It's got some armor plates on here, 400 mm, and then it's also got on some armor pump, 2 armor pumps. So let's see what that does here. Modification to increase the ship's total armor hit points. But it does slow the ship down. So those are the drawbacks of it. So um, I'm only going to go with the skills that I've been able to get at this point, and then I will build on top of it. What is my limitation? Now I could use the armor pumps in those. Now there's another one here, the Mimitar Enforcer, if I'm not mistaken. This is a little bit different. It is an active armor tank, so they didn't boost up their armor at all. They just threw on a armor repairer onto the ship so that it can replenish its armor as it's going through. Um, and then up here, it's got the ambit extension, which increases the distance that the guns can fire at. And then it's also got 2 gyro stabilizers on here, regular gyro stabilizers, so that it can have a larger fall off range up here. And I think that just increases its capacitor. I think the capacitor here is for your armor repair, and then it's got a micro warp drive on it to try to keep up with people. That's interesting. And so it looks like so this right here, it doesn't have any tackle on it whatsoever. Um, is that the Soldier of Fortune? Yeah. So what I'm going to try to do is make a quick fit. This is not going to be the best fit. This is going to be a quick fit, similar to about 5 episodes ago when I did a slasher quick fit, to just get out there and try to blow something up. So I'm going to try to do. Oh, I'm sorry. That is one thing that I did mean to show on there. When I said depending on the skills that I currently have. Um, let's see here. So if you notice here, the active armor fitting here, um, there's a incomplete skills up here. I don't have the the repair system skill yet. It, that might make you throw up. Most people have that on day one. I don't have it because this character was originally a purely exploration character. So while he's really good at Minmatar flying skills, he doesn't know how to fight very much, which is kind of fun. Then I've also got some negatives there with the capacitor. So I can't go active armor fit. I have to go passive fit. Um, Now, it'll take me a half a day to get my repair skills, but go with what you have, then come back and see what didn't work. And if you want to try something else out, get the skills for it and try it out. So let's get in here and we're just going to pull up a Rifter on its own. Rifter. Rifter. Wait, that's not what I want. How do you... Okay, there we go. So just to get a blank one here, what I'm going to do is fit this out very briefly um, and um, then go out and shoot something up with it. So what do we got here? We got hardware. Clear that off. We need guns first. Always go with the guns first. Now you know I've been doing the 150 MMs. I want to do things that I can build. Not things that I can buy, but things that I can build in the future. So we're going to go turrets and turret launchers. Wait, there we go. Don't need you. What is wrong here? There we go. Okay. So, projectile turrets, small And we're going to go with the light autocannons again. Those I can build, so that's not an issue. So we're going to go 1 and a 2 and a 3. So those are on there. Now, then go to the mid slots here, and we're going to need to, oh, wait. So I've been upgrading the damage done with my rigs. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. And I always like, if you watched a video a couple days ago, I always like to do the rigs first because there's negatives involved with rigs. And since the rigs affect how much power the negatives, these guns draw, it will tell me how much power core that I have left here. So let's go into the rigs. Blah, 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 blah. And projectile weapon rigs, small projectile weapon rigs. You know me, I like my ambit, my burst aerator does more rate of fire, and my collision accelerator. Obviously, other rigs you can use here. I will start changing out these. These are just the most simple ones that I can use. Okay, so the rigs are on there. We're ready to roll with that. Never forget your armor or your ammo. Um, so deleted. Um, and then we need fusion. Small. One. There we go. So those are bought. And then that's done. Need a little coffee. Now, the other things that we definitely need are a warp core scrambler. Oh, notice up here. So it took away one slot when you went from slasher to rifter. You went from 4 mid slots to 3 mid slots, and you went from 4 high slots to 3 high slots. But down here you gained 2 low slots. So it's the same number of slots, are just shifted. So I don't have to worry about that 4th slot here that I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with. So with the slasher. So we're going to need our afterburner, and then we're also going to need our warp core or warp um, scrambler. So let's go after 1 MN. Oh, we got to get into modules. There we go. 1 MN. Whoops. And then I don't like how it changes that part of it. So 1 MN. You know me, these are things that I can build. There are other ones here that I can pick up, but these are ones that I can build. And then we're going to go with the scrambler. Scrambled egg sounds pretty good right now. Warp scrambler. Okay, got another slot here. I'm going to hold off on that. These are the two I have to have. Now here's the weird part. I've got 4 slots down below. Let's open this up. Currently, right now, I'm doing 72.8 DPS, which I think is more than what I was doing with the slasher at this point. I could throw in a gyro stabilizer and increase that damage, but I need my tank. What's my tank going to be? Well, it's not going to be active tank. It's going to be passive tank. So I need armor plating. So 400. There we go. Remember earlier when I was looking at those other ones? Now, these are your upgraded ones. I'm going to go with the regular steel plates that I can then build. And we'll just see here. So my armor went from 540 to 1624. But look at that. This is very similar. Remember whenever I used to throw on the shield extender? That is what took up most of my space. So I still have some power grid left here. So can I throw on a gyro stabilizer? It'll have me do a little bit more damage. I'm up to 83. And then I've got some gaps here. I'm at 10% here. Do I want to do more damage? Do I want to mitigate or help out the fact that these have taken away from, I'm sorry, this will actually take away from my agility. Um, or do I want to go um, armor tanking? So it's been a little while since I've done armor tanking. So we've got armor hardeners, which are your um, um, will take. Well, I'll just show you here. If I want to fill in this gap of explosive damage to take, um, I would come in here, and your armor hardener is an item that you turn on, and it will increase the defense for a specific thing, like explosive or anything else. So I could fill this gap. Notice here, whenever I just hover over it, changes to 51%. So I get a 51 defense in there if I actually use that. Now the question is, can I fit it? I can. The second one I could do here is fill in the kinetic spot here. If I do that, that would just basically fill out the ship. Um, or I could do an inertial stabilizer. I could do a webifier here, which would slow somebody down. How about a webifier? I'm doing this totally on the fly so that I can learn from it whenever I die. Just notice here my CPU is down, so that doesn't work. Unless I could use this last slot here if I wanted to fix that. Or fleeting compact. So I could use the fleeting compact one here, which you can find almost anywhere when you kill stuff. I think I got like 5 of them back at my home base. That still leaves me a 0.8 here and a CPU of a 0.3. So the question is, if I threw on more armor, does that power grid use? Oh, this was the medium-sized one. Low power. So there's so much here that you can do. I've got very little room for error here. Do I go with the webifier? Let's see here. Inertial. Stabilizer? Could do that. Inertial stabilizers I like because they increase your agility and they take nothing to throw on. Just if you're looking for a little spot there. I know it's not the best thing. Notice the fitting? It just requires a low power slot. It just helps you. Not going to waste a lot of time for you guys today. This is not the best fit in the world, but this is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to learn from it. So we're going to save as uh, super basic on the fly rifter for fun. There we go. Save. And then I'm going to fit the ship. Okay, so I need to buy all. Let's see what the price is on all this stuff. Can I get it all in station? Notice up here I've got it in current here. How much are you gonna cost me? A second. Where did I get all this ISK in my corp? I don't have that much ISK in my corp. Okay. So how much did this cost? My corp has 2 people in it. Me and another guy. Ooh, whoa. So it's wanting See, this is where you want to be very careful. Oh no, that's what the price is. That's not how much I have in my corp. So this is why you have to be very careful with doing a multi-buy. Notice here it's wanting me to buy the explosive armor at 189 million and the 4mm steel plates at 189 million. We are not going to do that, and we're not going to do that. There we go. Now we're down to 1.5. Anything else here crazy? That's 140,000, not a huge amount. I'm just doing this on the fly, so yeah, we'll buy all that. So I'll need to fill out the 2 slots there that I don't have. I can probably just go buy those things. Um, so cool. Alrighty. So let's get into our new ship. Ship hanger. Assemble ship. Change the name. VF Tech 1D Trainer. Blow me up ship. There we go. And then we're going to come back in here. And it's going to make this active. And I could have hit something earlier that would have fitted it out, I think. But I didn't do that. So, then we'll come back in here. Do I have any? I don't have any skins for a Rifter? Really? That's pretty sad. So I got to go with the basic, boring, model. Okay, holes and fits. Super basic on the fly. Rifter for fun. And fit ship. Said fitting. Yes, I'm fine there. I'm missing these two, so I need explosive armor hardener and steel plates. I need to buy those. No, I don't want to buy those for 360 million ISK. Go. Will it not let me fit this out? Exit simulation. Nope. Okay, so I'm fit up. I just need to fit those in. So let's go and find where I can buy explosive armor hardener 1. Buy this. Buy 1. Location. Set destination. And we need our 400. Probably could have bought these same spot. Ooh, that's pretty expensive there. All right. Okay with that. It's fine. I'll deal with it. Bye. There we go. So we're gonna go pick that. I'm gonna go pick those 2 things up. Then I'm gonna go try to get myself blown up. Oh, we got somebody. So it's at this point. My guns. I will bid you guys adieu for now. I'm going to chop the video at this point so you don't have to listen to me talk while I'm going and picking up this stuff. And then I will try to go get into a fight. And right before I get into that fight, I will reboot back in. And you'll see me die right after that. So, see you soon. Alrighty, so I'm in Amamake. There is an Atron in this open outpost right here. I was just descanning it, and if I remember correctly, there was a worm there. Um, So either this Atron, this is a tackle frigate, a glinted tackle frigate. Either the Atron is tackling people and the worms flying in to kill it, or the Atron is able to defeat worms, which is not a good idea for me to be fighting them if I wasn't flying such a cheap ship. But as you know, I'm just going for practice. Oop, wait, he's still there. Um, I'm just practicing here, so why not try to go blow him up and die? So let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. So I did my performance down, get my tactical up as far away as possible, and hopefully he will be there when we warp in. He'll probably be at range, so I need to make sure I turn on everything here. Let's get my hardener on so we don't forget that. Is that you can turn on prior to the fight, so that's important. It's been a while since I've done anything like that. So let's just check one last time, make sure he's there. He is there. So let's go ahead and try to warp in and get ourselves killed. Got an Imperial Navy Slicer rolled in here. Why am I zooming in? You don't want to zoom in. You want to be out. So he is at range. Notice he was coming at me. I'm doing that on purpose. Trying to learn a little bit of tactic stuff here. Long story short, he was coming toward me. So I had the chance to get there. So now if I warp directly back to it, maybe? Where is that? I'm trying to see if anybody was warping to the open outpost while I was there. Nope. So we're going to warp back to it and try to get ourselves killed. Now he may not call out his buddy to come in if he has a buddy. Asteroid belt on. My security, oh, I got him for a little bit there. Okay, so he's gone to range. All right. So he came at me and then warped away. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take that as a win. Okay. Why? Because I didn't die. Um, Part of learning for me is I'm going to get blown up later on today with this ship. But I'm learning from my last experience. So my kind of thought pattern there was I warped in. An open site is different from the other ones. The other ones you have to, as a quick explanation, you warp into um, an acceleration gate, which then takes you into the site. An open one, you warp directly to the site, and anyone can come into. So whenever I first warped into it, I might be wrong with this. I'll have to rewatch the tape. He was closing distance on me. Then I warped away to see if I could descan the area and see if he was a tackler who was then going to call in friends. Now he may have waited to call in friends until he got me tackled. I don't know. But I decided I'd try to go get killed. When I did fly back in, um, and I have to look at the tape to see if I did it right. I feel pretty good about, I didn't overheat anything. That's one negative I didn't do. Um, and I need to work on that. That's a new thing for me. But I was able to set my guns up, and I actually hit him once. Then he turned around and went away from me, which either tells me he didn't want to fight. He was able to get away before I was able to get the web scrambler on him, and or the web of fire. Um, so rather than chase him and maybe have some of his friends come in or do that, I ended up to exit the fight because if they're not going to take it on your terms, then they probably want to dictate terms. And you don't want terms dictated to you. You want to dictate the terms of the fight. So I apologize that I didn't get blown up there, but it is a learning part to me. I won't do a whole lot of videos where I run away, but I think it's good to show that. That you have choices. You don't have to go all in every single hand. Um, and so hopefully, I'll, I'll see if I can find another fight out there. Let me just see. He's got the open outpost here. So he's still sitting there. So something's going on there with him. The other part too is I can rewatch the video, see who he was, and do some research there. And what you can do is you warp in. Oh, I could have done that earlier. I could have warped in, see who he was, warp away, do the Z kill board to see if he's in solo fights or in gang fights. If he's in solo fights normally, then that would mean he's the tackler. If I'm sorry, if he's in gang fights, that would mean when he's in Atron, he would be the tackler. Whereas if he kills people with just Atrons, then he's a single fight and that sort of thing. So lot to think over, and this is where I'm going to round it back out to the beginning of the video. I didn't mean to do this, but whenever I was going over the commentary, how a lot of people uh, put this up to spreadsheets in space. I want to get into the more tactics and the flying abilities and things like that. But that is such a higher level. But I want to help anybody who wants to get to that level and watch me make my mistakes um, to maybe find some new ways. So I'm going to spend today doing some more work around the house. It's a constant thing. And play some more. I'll probably do some moving around from what I talked about earlier, but I hope you guys have a great day. And other than that, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.